Well, I think one best practice is to understand that every project has some opponents, because we are agents of change. We're not satisfied with the status quo. It's not good enough. We are trying to help everyone in the community and the region do better. So we are agents of change, and change for different people, different interest groups and what have you can be threatening. So I think you just have to accept that what we do is going to be controversial. Some are less, but every single project I've done in over 30 years has had someone that has had some concern about it.
I think, number one, we need to be very good stewards of the financial resources that we're held accountable for. I think we need to communicate. Now, the communicate piece, as much as we can communicate results, there's a significant level of confidentiality that we have to deal with as practitioners. You've got to let people know as much as you can let them know, as early in the process as you can let them know.
So I think the most important thing to do when faced with negative conversations surrounding your economic development efforts is not to engage and not get into a defensive posture. The most important thing is to really consistently make sure that you're sharing information with the public. As soon as you possibly can, begin to engage again the local residents so that when they read something that may be negative, they have already heard about it, they've seen you at their community council meetings, they know that they have the information rather than just what they've read in a newspaper.
I think transparency is probably the number one issue. I often hear that as a criticism of our work, where we tend to work behind the scenes very quietly under non-disclosure agreements. And those things are important, especially when a company asks for it. But to the extent we have a chance to be transparent, even if it's not 100% of the work that we do, it creates an opportunity to create a better understanding by media, by the public at large, and of course by our elected officials.
I think some of the contributing factors that lead to negative impressions of economic development are that most people, when they hear economic development, think immediately of financial incentives and not really understanding the depth and breadth of the work of economic developers and economic development organization, and go straight down to that we're giving away money to someone. And so I think it's incumbent upon the economic developers and in our profession to explain better what it is that we do in our daily work. And it is way more complex, obviously, than just handing somebody a check and incentives.
There's this ideology that's sweeping across America that's framing economic development in the context of corporate welfare, picking winners and losers, but it is a very one-sided, limited view of what economic development is. And it's important that the community understands the value of economic development, how communities are experiencing reinvestment that allows schools to prosper, allows us to hire more police officers, allows us to pay our teachers better. That's what economic development results are for.